Trayvon Martin, Sanford, Florida, February 2012.
In 2012, Trayvon Martin's murder opened our eyes.
Dante Price, Dayton, Ohio, March 2012. Wendell Allen, New Orleans, Louisiana, March 2012. Sharice Francis, New York, New York, March 2012. Rakia Boyd, Chicago, March 2012. Kendrick McDade, Pasadena, California, March 2012. Irvin Johnson, Atlanta, Georgia, March 2012. Timon Robinson, New York, New York, April 2012. Chantel Davis, New York, New York, June 2012. Shavis Carter, Jonesboro, Arkansas, July 2012. Johnny Kamai Warren, Dothan, Alabama, December 2012. Kamani Gray, New York, New York, March 2013. Jonathan Farrell, Bradfield Farms, North Carolina, September 2013. Larry Eugene Jackson, Austin, Texas, July 2013. Laquan McDonald, Chicago, October 2014. Yvette Smith, Bishop County, Texas, February 2014. Dontra Hamilton, Milwaukee, April 2014. Eric Gardner, New York City, July 2014. Michael Brown, Ferguson, August 2014.
Michael Brown's murder awakened a movement. The death of Michael Brown, who was shot by a policeman in Ferguson, Missouri on August 9th, 2014, resulted in nationwide protests against what civil rights advocates say is law enforcement's tendency to be overly aggressive when dealing with black men and women. The Black Lives Matter movement evolved from a social media hashtag into a national protest against brutality against blacks. LA Times, July 12, 2016.
But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. Ezeal Ford, Florence, California, August 2014. Dante Parker, Victoriaville, California, August 2014. Tanisha Anderson, Cleveland, Ohio, November 2014. Akai Gurley, Brooklyn, New York, November 2014. Tamir Rice, Cleveland, Ohio, November 2014.
A 10-year-old kid playing in the park with a toy gun shot down without even warning. A kid.
Remain Brisbane, Phoenix, December 2014. Jerome Reed, Bridgetown, New Jersey, December 2014. Tony Robinson, Madison, Wisconsin, March 2015. Philip White, Vineland, New Jersey, March 2015. Eric White, Tulsa, Oklahoma, April 2015. Walter Scott, Charleston, South Carolina, April 2015.
Shot in the back after running away from a cop during a traffic stop.
Freddie Gray, Baltimore, 2015.
Arrested and transported to jail for a minor crime, but fell into coma during transport in police custody, ultimately murdered.
Natasha McKinnon, Fairfax County, Virginia, February 2015. Brendan Glenn, Los Angeles, March 2015. Samuel DuBose, Cincinnati, July 2015. Christian Taylor, Arlington, Texas, August 2015. Akil Dinkins, Raleigh, North Carolina, February 2016. Gregory Gunn, Montgomery, Alabama, February 2016. Philando Castile, St. Paul, Minnesota, July 2016. Alton Sterling, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, July 2016.
Looks at audience, then reads article from device.
U.S. police killed at least 250 black people in 2016, according to Project by The Guardian that tracks police killings around America. 39 of these people were unarmed. 4 were killed by police stun guns, and another died in custody, a continuing problem in American jails. But the majority of black people killed by police were fatally shot. Based on a tracker from the Washington Post, at least 232 black folks were shot and killed. The Guardian's figures include all deaths resulting directly from encounters with law enforcement, while the police Post counts only people who were shot and killed by police. The Post found that 34% of unarmed people killed in 2016 were black males, which is quite disproportionate since black males make up only 6% of the US population. There was also a considerable amount of uptick in deaths caught on camera via cell phone and police cameras. The Huffington Post, July 7th, 2016.
Black body swinging in the southern breeze.
Act 1, Scene 1. Lights up in the kitchen of the Papua's upscale home. Mom, Lillian, turns on the radio and tunes in. She has been cooking. Grill is still on stove. The 9 o'clock news is on. Her hands remains on the dial as she listens. Miranda comes into the kitchen during the middle of the announcement and paused to listen. Announcer, it's 9 a.m. in the ATL and unrest is all over the land. Marches protesting the most recent killings of 2 black men are being held this evening all around the country. Organizers here in Atlanta included NAACP, SCLC, NAN, as well as a host of churches. The Atlanta March will begin at the Center for Civil Human Rights on Alvin Allen.
Mom, they're talking about the march. Turn it up.
Hearing Miranda, she turns off the radio, puts large pan cover with aluminum foil into the oven. The pancakes.
Why you turn it off? Ma, turn it back on so we can hear what time it starts.
Doesn't matter what time it starts, Miranda.
Just listen to what it's about. It's only a news story. Turn it up so we can finish hearing it, please, Mom.
Attempts to turn radio back on, Mom slaps her hands.
No, you won't make a bit of difference. You are not going.
Starts the coffee maker and washes the grill.
But Junior is going.
Might be going. If so, he's older and he's a boy. If anything happens, he can take care of himself. Take the dishes out of the dishwasher.
What do you mean take care of himself? It's a march, not a riot. Black Lives Matter is a peaceful organization, you know, like Dr. King's marches.
The dishes, Miranda. You don't know a thing about it, and you sure don't know a thing about Dr. King's marches.
How many times have we been to the King Center? I know!
Not the same thing at all. You've seen these Black Lives Matter marches on TV. After every one, they go parading down the street like that's going to help something. Just working themselves up into a frenzy, chanting and shouting and getting madder by the minute. They end up like a keg of gunpowder waiting for a match. No, I don't want you around any explosion.
Quincy Jr. enters the kitchen with no shirt on, puts a t-shirt on the back of a chair, reaches in the dishwasher and gets a very large bowl.
Sis, I see you got Mama started. You shouldn't have said anything at all. You should have just hopped in the car with me.
Boy, I know you must have lost your mind coming down here with no shirt on, then talking about taking her down there without asking me. Get back upstairs and get a shirt. You know how that riles me. Plus, you got that big old bowl and you know we're having brunch later.
Just playing with her. I got a shirt right here, Mom.
Takes shirt off from chair and puts it on. It is a Black Lives Matters tee. He laughs lightly and shrugs his shoulders. Mom glares at him and sighs heavily.
Well, don't get hysterical, Mom. I'm just kidding about taking her. I mean, I'm the one who told her to come and ask you about going. Okay, Mom. I'm hungry now. Brunch is in what, like 3 hours?
Well, I should have just hopped in the car and gone down there.
Hopped in the car, nothing, girl, please. Finish putting up those dishes, Junior. I don't know where that shirt came from, but it needs to go back.
It's just a t-shirt, Ma. I mean, my friend Winston gave it to me. Pretty cool, huh?
Cool nothing. Actually, I'd prefer you not wear it around here.
Really? I got one for Miranda, too.
What? Oh, cool beans. Can I put it on now?
Absolutely not. It will go right back where it came from. You just finished putting up those dishes, Junior. Junior, you can just give it back to your friend or take it someplace, but I don't want to see her in it. Bad enough you're prancing around here in one. I guess you'll be wearing it around here because you sure won't be driving anywhere. If you're so intent on going to that march, then march your behind on down there on your own 2 feet. You will not be driving my car and not your dad's.
What? It's in Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta. You know that's over 20 miles from here.
I don't care if it's on the moon. You won't be driving. Think you're going to be driving around there with all this going on? No car. That's how most of these situations start. What they call a routine traffic stop.
Well, how am I supposed to get there?
That's your problem.
Dad comes in stretching, heads to the cabinet for a bowl, and sets it in front of Quincy.
Morning, good folks.
Good
Hey, Dad.
morning.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Daddy.
Pour me some of that cereal, Q. I see we're back on this march thing again. Maybe I should go back upstairs and stay until y'all figure this one out.
Nah, you came in just the right time. Guess you didn't notice your son's new shirt.
Why am I not surprised?
Says he has one for Miranda.
You can forget that. If I see her in it, it's gone. So you better take it back.
Exactly what I told him. But I think you need to talk some sense into your kid.
Daddy, it's just a shirt. I can wear it today if you and Mama let me go to the march with Junior. Can't you talk to her?
Yeah, she says I can't drive and it's like 20 miles from here. How am I supposed to get there?
Questions. As far as I'm concerned, the answer to everything is no until I eat something. Where's the milk for this cereal? My question.
You think this is funny, Quincy? It's not.
No, it's not. I already said no to the same things you said no to. What else you want?
For you not to eat much, today is brunch.
Copy that. Don't eat much.
Eats his cereal.
Stop sulking, boy. You wearing the shirt is about as much as I can tolerate, but you sure don't need to be going to that march, and your sister definitely will not be going.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with your mama on this one.
Daddy!
On this one? I mean, it seems like y'all agree on everything when it comes to stopping me from doing something I want to do.
What about me?
Miranda, you better get someplace and sit down. And you need to watch yourself, boy. We don't need your lip.
Huh? I didn't even say anything.
Anything. You didn't say anything.
Right, Mom, I didn't say anything. I can't believe you're actually taking up for me.
What? Taking up for you? And you wrong as 2 left shoes on every count. I'm trying to teach you good grammar. It's not you didn't say nothing, boy. Oh, never mind. Jeez.
I know you said just enough to make me know you won't be long in this camp. If you think we're stopping you from going where you want to go or doing what you want to do, then go where you can pay the cost of your own boss. Get your own place.
Quincy, it's not that deep. Please, don't let this get out of hand.
I just need your firstborn to know it's only one head of household and he's not it.
I wasn't trying to cause friction, Dad. I just want you to understand my position.
Your position?
Yeah, Dad, my position. Isn't that what you taught me? Taught both of us all of our lives? To make ourselves understood. I don't know what I did wrong.
When your mama and I make a decision, then there is no other position. Nothing more needs to be understood. You understand that. You talking about driving a car, but your mama and I need to talk some more about you going, period. That's still up for discussion.
Daddy, Junior's only 3 years older than me. Why is it okay for him to go?
You didn't hear me say it was okay for him to go. What you heard is that it's not okay for you at all. In other words, your brown behind will be right here tonight.
But almost all the kids at school are going, even the white kids. Everybody in the country knows that shooting, that those 2 men wasn't right. Everybody knows it.
Well, that's fine and dandy. They can march all around the globe for all I care. We all know it was wrong too, but let the law handle it.
You gotta be kidding me. The law is the perpetrator. The cop shooting Castile and Sterling for nothing is everybody's business.
Look, son, you have some things you need to learn about this society. You cannot change things overnight, and marching in the street is not the way anymore.
Rinses the bowls and puts them in the sink. Mom now seems to be ignoring them as she takes eggs out of the fridge, seasoning out of the cabinets, etc. Her focus is now on the brunch.
I can't believe you said that about the marching. We're only 20 miles away from the MLK Junior Center. How many times have you taken me there? That's what this movement was all about, making a difference, getting justice for everyone.
That was over 50 years ago. A lot has changed since then. That's why you're at Tech and why we have a black president and why I'm an executive VP for IBM. things have changed. You can't go back to old tactics in this day and age. There are different ways to deal with these issues.
Oh, yeah, and what are they? Like, what are these different tactics? Are you going to do any of them?
What? I work within the system, son. I'm an example of how we get things done in the 21st century.
Oh, you mean the go along to get along tactic?
I know you're not getting flipped with me.
Quincy.
No. Quincy, nothing. This boy better look around him and see the benefits of working within the system. You think your big mama and big daddy lived anything like this when I was your age? Boy, success does not just come from marching. Look at your own comforts and see how far we've come.
Oh my God. Yeah, we live up here in Peach Branch, and that's a handful of other bougie Negroes up here. But whose community is this really? Whose? It's not our community.
So exactly what the hell is your community? You think the hood is your community? Is that what you're saying? And you've never been in the hood except to drive through it. Listen to him, Lil. Please, boy, give me a break.
These kids don't appreciate what we've done to get here. You think somebody just rubbed a magic lantern and poof, here we are. I wish I'd had an inkling of what you kids have when I was your age, but I almost raised myself.
Ma, we know it was hard being an orphan. We get that, and we really are proud of what you did with your life.
You think I remind you about my life because I want you to be proud of me? I don't care about that. I made it and I know my source. Only God could have brought me through those times. I need to remind you of my story so you'll know how good you have it.
Understand all of that, but a few of us living the so-called American dream, the good life, with all of these trappings, that's just not the answer for the black community.
What black community?
The one Dr. King fought and died for.
Dr. King fought so we could have better opportunities, so we could better ourselves, so we could get out of the muck and mire our parents were in. We have done everything right, and you are the proof.
Me.
And me. In another time, if I'd been born here to a mama that died in birth and no idea who my daddy was, with another kith or kin, with not another kith or kin known, there's no telling where I'd be now, boy. God saved me, and your daddy's sense of community made this family what it is.
But you were smart all on your own, Ma. That's why you stayed on the honor roll.
That was survival, honey. I didn't want to be in the muck and mire your daddy talks about. It was all around me. Being raised in an orphanage was not going to define me.
Your mama was the kind of woman I needed to make our family dream come true. And together we did it. Both of you are the proof of our struggle. We can't help if others didn't take advantage. Junior, that's on them.
I know.
We have 4 generations living right here on this property. 4 generations. We know where we came from. My mama and daddy wish they could have taken in their parents when they got old. Could have had a family compound. That's what we have here.
And that's the best thing about this whole situation. Your sacrifice and all. Okay, that big mama, big daddy, and granny can live so close to us, but the struggle didn't end with you buying up more of this white man's land when your parents could ever afford. Dad, what did Fannie Lou Hamer say? Nobody's free till everybody's free.
Claptrap, son. Pure claptrap. You just tried to wait until everybody's free to know your own freedom. Pure claptrap. Besides, people are tired of all these stories about struggles and black people. People want to hear happy stories about black success and black freedom. I know I'm tired of all these stories about pain and problems.
What? What are you talking about, Dad? I mean, you can get tired of pain and problems. You can turn them all off, turn your back on them. But could our ancestors do that? Huh, Dad? Could they? I mean, all you have to do now is read about it. Listen to or watch stories about their pain, and you think that's too much? You think this is hard, Dad? Think about what our ancestors had to deal with. I can't believe you. I really can't believe you think freedom is so individual. I can't believe you can just turn your back on back on history.
You don't know a thing about it. Let me tell you. Your grandparents had their own apartment right across the yard. Our yard. Just wait till they come in. They'll tell you a thing or two about freedom. My daddy and his mama had it plenty hard in Mississippi. Went north so they could find freedom. Worked hard. They did, and nobody helped them. It was them. You know, when I got my scholarship to Georgia Tech, Daddy almost didn't let me come to Atlanta to take it. Any more of these little donuts, baby?
Oh, come on, Quincy. You won't want a thing at brunch. You just had cereal. That's more than enough to hold you.
Dad nods his head in agreement, fiddles with napkins or other thing on the table. More calm now.
Your grandparents didn't want me back in the South because they thought I'd lose the little freedom we gained. Especially your big daddy. You don't know how hard I had to beg my own parents to let me go to this good school so I could get a good education and know a taste of the good life and freedom in my own mouth.
What? They didn't want you to come to Atlanta?
No. Here the white folks would let me in and my own parents would try to keep me out. Ain't that a twist? But I don't fault them. Not now anyway. Daddy remembered his own times in the South is what it was. All that hate and oppression. But things were different for me. And they're even more different for you and your sister. What are those granola bars, honey? Something? Brunch is what, a couple of hours from now? Your great-grandmother left everything she knew in Mississippi. And everybody she loved brought her boy with her. And you think I'm gonna look down on her sacrifices? Hell, I don't know what anybody else's folks did, but I know what Granny did. And I know the sacrifices she made so we could all live better than she did. That's our history. And I'm doing the same for you. That's how it's supposed to be done. It's called legacy.
Dad, it's different.
Yeah, it's different. Now, we have black lawmakers, black governors, black police chiefs, blacks on the Supreme Court. We have representatives everywhere. We can work through the system to get things done now and to get people punished. Dr. King didn't have that.
I cannot believe you're falling for the okie doke. I don't care how many black faces are a part of the system. It's still rigged against us. And surely you don't count Clarence Thomas as an ally on the Supreme Court. Okay, I can't believe this conversation.
Miranda goes to the fridge, gets orange juice.
Miranda, that orange juice is for brunch. Get some milk.
But I don't want milk. Never mind, I'll drink water.
She then starts to fiddle with her tablet.
It's up to you, sweetie, just not the orange juice. And I know you two need to stop this Malcolm and Martin debate. It's getting late. Both of you need to get dressed. Miranda, go down to the apartment and see if Big Mama needs any help with Big Daddy or Granny.
What about the march? Listen, hundreds are expected to take to the streets to protest the police killings 2 weeks ago of African-American men, Philando Castile, 32, of St. Paul, Minnesota, and Alton Sterling, 37-year-old father of 5 of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The march is set to begin at 6 p.m. to be followed by a sit-in that will last until midnight.
Girl, you must be crazy. You just read yourself into the biggest no you ever heard.
It says there will be an increased police presence, Mom.
Miranda, it's done. Nothing more to be said.
But Mama, it's going to be safe, and I don't have to stay till midnight. Quincy and I can come home early.
No way. Don't make plans for me. All right, I'm not coming back early, so you need to just stay here like Mama said.
Don't act like it's a done deal that you're going. The final word has not been said about that yet. Right now, Miranda, we know what the final word is for you. Down to help your grands.
So what am I supposed to do with them?
Whatever they need you to do, get on down and help out. Granny needs a shower, needs to get dressed, needs her hair combed. I'm sure there's something you can find that'll be a help. Now Miranda, so they can get here on time, then get on back up here yourself.
What time did you tell them to come?
Between 11:30 and noon. Got some time, but I've still got to finish cooking, getting dressed, and clean up this kitchen. Well, Junior can clean up the kitchen.
Me? Why can't
Just
I?
do as I say.
Q, you don't want big problems this early in the morning.
Now that all of that is settled, Miranda, get going.
Got up this morning and actually forgot it was Saturday. I was about to get ready for work.
Takes carton of eggs from the refrigerator and begins cracking eggs into a bowl.
Oh, if you hadn't gotten up for work at this time, you would have been sure enough late. It's going on 10 a.m.
I didn't say I got up in time for work. I was ready for work when I got up. Almost 10. Yeah, we do need to get busy if you're expecting the grands on time. Finish up, Junior, so you can clean up this kitchen and get dressed for brunch.
This I really don't understand. I mean, why we have to do this every Saturday? Sometimes I have things to do on Saturday.
Like what? All you do is sleep in on Saturday if we don't plan something. I don't want to hear it. We're planning this for Saturdays, so put that on your busy schedule.
What do you mean every Saturday? Like we've been doing this for months or something. They've only been here 2 weeks. You saying you don't like having brunch with my parents and grandmother? You don't like that?
No, that's not it. I love having brunch with them. Listening to Big Daddy stories about working on the railroad and all, I love that. I'm glad they came to live with us.
So what are you complaining about?
This getting dressed for brunch, that's pretty lame. I mean, are we gonna do this every Saturday? Seems like some Victorian British thing. This is a clean shirt. But why can't I wear it?
Victorian British? Come on, Junior. It's not even like that. It wasn't my idea. It was your mama's.
Yeah, it was my idea, and what is it you don't like about it? It's not like we go formal or anything, just some slacks and a shirt. No tees, especially not that one. No cutoffs, no jeans, no pajamas. Everybody will be neat, clean, and clothed right. Like you respect the elders joining us for our grand party. That's what I'm calling it. Our grand party. It'll be a tradition, and having family traditions is always good.
Grand party, huh? Like grandparents. Yeah, I like that, huh? And I'm gonna like this tradition a lot. You will too. Might take a while for you to appreciate it, but I promise you will.
We all will. As it is during the week, we're all busy going our different ways. We hardly have time to make sure Mrs. Rice has directions for the grands. In fact, I think we need to have her come more than twice a week to help your dad. It's just too much for Big Mama.
When you hired her, I didn't think 2 days was enough, but left that up to you and Mama.
Well, everything is such a rush. Then on Sundays, we're hurrying around getting ready for church, and after church, we can't even sit down for family dinner anymore because everybody has this and that to do. But we got a wonderful gift when your parents and grandmother came to stay with us. I tell you, I wish I could have had these connections when I was coming up. Even with Granny and her dementia, we have beautiful gifts. We need to act like they're the special people they are. And boy, dressing for brunch is just one little old way to do that. Build a tradition around them is what I say. That's what it is these Saturday mornings, our own grand party. Well, it's grand for me anyway.
Okay, I get it.
I'm definitely on board. What she wants to do? We all got to pitch in and help.
Well, let me go on up and get dressed for this grand party.
See what happens when I say help? Now you want to disappear.
No, I just want to make sure I'm appropriately dressed and ready for this new tradition. In the meantime, Ma, think some more about me driving to the march. Dad, you too. Ma.
Do what you have to do.
Okay, get dressed, then wheel Big Daddy up. When is his electric wheelchair coming?
I decided not to get it. He's not happy about it, but he only needs the chair to get up from the apartment up here. Anyway, the doctor says he needs more exercise, so I'll get him to walk up to the house. And swimming will help. I'll get him in the pool sometime this week.
Good luck with that. You know he and Big Mama hate the swimming pool.
Hopefully we can change that attitude. Never really too late to teach an old dog a couple of new tricks. Him learn to swim might be one of them. Maybe even teach both of them.
Like I said, good luck with that. Okay, I'm out. I'll clean up the kitchen when you finish, Mom. All right, no sense washing these few dishes and then you're gonna make me wash more after brunch.
Quincy leaves the room to get ready.
Wait, call your sister. Remind her she needs to get dressed in a hurry.
She returns to cracking eggs.
Hey, sis. Mama said when you're finished helping the grands, come on up so you can get dressed. Yeah, we're getting dressed again. Okay, I'll go down and help with the wheelchair. Is Granny dressed too? Well, come on up before your mother has a fit. She wants us all dressed up in time for the grand party. Yeah, that's what she's calling these brunches. Okay. Oh, and she says you gotta wash the dishes after brunch. Well, all right, so she's almost done. She's helping Granny get ready now. Mama, don't forget to think about it.
Boy, you are something else. You will wash these dishes. Get out of here before you make me mad.
Okay, I'm done.
He leaves and Mom and Dad continues in silence with their chores.
You thought how that boy's getting down to Atlanta?
Nope, because I don't really want him to go. All those young people in one place, Quincy. Oh, Quincy, the police are probably just waiting for one of them to do something stupid. Anything. Everybody's adrenaline will be pumping overtime.
Then why don't you just tell him no?
Junior will be a sophomore in college. I can't be telling him he can't go down there. He's just about an adult. I can tell him he can't drive either of our cars, and I hope I get the same results.
Shrewd, huh? Oh, so you think. Next thing he'll be talking about his own car.
He can talk it all he wants. Who wrecked his? Wasn't me, wasn't you. So he's got to live with the rules until he can buy another one. One car, we buy only one car per child. After that, they're on their own. That's what we agreed.
I still agree. But living out here does pose some transportation problems, especially getting downtown to school.
Yes, and
Well, I'd be fine if he didn't drive anywhere at all. Too many dangers, Lil. Too many dangers. Dropping him to the station is not a problem. Guess he can take the bus and train for a while. That's almost 2 hours travel time, though. Bet that'll make him appreciate a car when he gets another one.
That's my thinking.
Glad that's settled. So, what's for brunch?
Something healthy. You can bet that. I know Big Daddy won't be happy. No pork bacon. Did you go and buy them some pork? I could have swore I smelled pork bacon wafting up here yesterday morning.
I bought what they wanted, Lil. They're grown folks. You can't tell grown folks what to do. You just said so.
When they are recovering from a stroke, oh yes you can. You need to go along with the program, Quincy. Making your dad happy in the short term is not helping him in the long term, grown or not.
Honey, I only meant...
I don't care what you meant. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be the enemy in this. If you want me to help out, then you have to play by the rules. The doctor said plenty of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean meat. Lean, Quincy. That means no more pork and limited salt. You like the exercise part because that sounds like fun, but his diet is even more important. So don't think I'm going to be the boogeyman with this thing, because I'm not.
She goes to her and kisses her on the face.
Okay. No more pork. Maybe you should make the grocery list because they're going to put it on there every time.
Then you have to take it off every time. You got to do the hard work, not me. They're your parents after all. Oh, look at the time. The table's starting to look nice, hon. I'll scramble the eggs, saute the spinach, and do the turkey bacon when I come down. Did the fruit? I did the fruit yesterday. Pancakes in the oven. Everything is about ready.
What kind of pancakes?
Buckwheat this morning.
Who in the whole wide world likes those? Don't be surprised if nobody eats them, including me.
Quincy, you think I'm playing? You gotta set the example. For the kids and for your parents. If you don't eat them, then nobody will.
But you know I don't like buckwheat.
I'll be damned. I'm thinking about the health of this family, and you're thinking about your taste buds. Just eat the damn pancakes, Quincy, or next Saturday you can fix the brunch yourself. That's the choice. I'm upstairs. Junior will get Big Daddy when he comes down.
She leaves angrily empties empty egg cartons and seasoning on the counter. Dad, standing in the kitchen alone, looks at his watch, shakes his head, and sighs heavily. Act 1, Scene 2. In the kitchen, Quincy Jones has changed clothes and is checking his phone. Dad comes in and stands next to it.
Now that's much better, Q. In fact, that's a pretty cool shirt. Where'd you get that?
This is the one you and Mom got me for my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
You don't remember the shirt because you didn't have anything to do with getting it.
You know that's not my department. I just pay for all the gifts. Your mom is the go-getter.
Well, anyway, I'm glad you like her taste.
Looks at the phone again.
So, Dad, what do you really think about me going to the march? I mean, Mom's against it, but on the real side, man to man, like, you gotta understand what it's all about. Just got a text from my friend Winston in Midtown. If I can get there, he might bring me back home afterwards.
Put in a load of dishes before your mom comes down. Surprise her.
Quincy signs but starts to load the dishwasher.
Bring you all the way out here that late? I don't know. I've been thinking we should have a talk before you started driving.
A talk?
Yeah, about how to mitigate situations you might run into. I'm not comfortable about you and your friend coming out here that late. Between Atlanta and here, anything can happen.
Oh, you mean the talk? The one that's supposed to help me with run-ins with the police? Nothing will happen, Dad. I'll be in the car.
Yeah, you were in the car when it got wrecked. How much did that help?
It wasn't my fault. It was the deer. You saw the police report.
Relevant points, son, were 1, you were black and in a nice car. 2, it was night. 3, you wrecked that nice car. And 4, you encountered the police by yourself. All of that could have been a recipe for disaster.
What are you saying? I mean, I know you're not saying that police violence against black is our fault.
I didn't say anything about fault or blame. I'm talking about your responsibility to stay away from danger.
My responsibility.
That's why the talk is so important. I've been thinking about that ever since the accident. We never had what you call the talk.
Well, it's coming too late now. The car is gone.
Better late than never. Because protesting after the fact is certainly not the answer. Yeah, your mom and I should have had that talk when we first got the car. Luckily, nothing happened. To be honest, living out here doesn't seem all that relevant. Now you seem pretty deep in this Black Lives Matter stuff, so you need to be proactive. Can't wait for things to happen and then go out and protest.
Is that what you think is happening? Since you won't let me drive either of the cars, I don't know why we need this talk. Besides, I know the drill. Winston's dad had to talk with him, and I know you so well that I know what to say.
Oh, I'm that predictive.
About this? Yeah, pretty much. I've been working with Winston, and we created something that will probably make you proud of me.
Like what?
Something that won't get cops off the hook, but it sure would help if black men follow it.
What is this miracle?
Well, still talking about the talk, that. Let me show you.
Gets up and retrieves a stack of printed cards from the dining room table. Returns to the kitchen and gives one of the cards to his dad.
We got them printed and we're planning to pass them out after March. Couldn't afford to get but 200 done and drop it in the bucket. But hey, that's the start. Okay, I know you like these. Black men's tip for surviving police encounters. 1. Pull to the side of the street or road immediately when you see flashing lights. 2. Put phone on audio record and place it in a conspicuous place. 3. Turn on inside dome light. 4. Lower driver's side window and clip license and registration to the outside of window. 5. Turn off car and place keys on dashboard. 6. Place hands on steering wheel and wait for approaching officer. 7. Keep eyes focused front. Only greet officer after she or he greets you. Do not ask questions. 8. If you have a license, concealed weapon, alert officer, but do not move hands at all. 9. Respond to questions politely and clearly. 10. Cooperate with all directions to a T. If ticket is written, take ticket. No matter what, say fight for court. Say nothing. And then 10 plus, pray. So, what do you think? You think you know it?
Yeah, not bad. In fact, most of these are pretty good. I'm not sure about the recording the situation. If a cop finds out, he can be pretty pissed and no telling what he might do. Worse than that is the one about the gun. Why you gotta say anything about having a gun?
It's a licensed concealed weapon.
It's a gun, Q. And a gun always means trouble. That Castile young man will tell you that if he could.
Well, he had a license to carry the gun, and he told the cop exactly that. But he was shot down anyway.
Shouldn't have had it, is all I can say. Should have just shown his license and registration like the cop said.
You don't get it. Philando wasn't doing anything wrong. He was exercising his constitutional right, but he's dead. You think if that had been a white fellow, the cop would have shot him like a dog and right in front of his family like that? Nah, Dad. It's all about driving while black.
The praying part, I guess that's a bonus tip. Sure won't hurt.
Yeah. Sometimes we can do every single thing right and we still end up dead. You know, it's plenty of dead black men throughout our history that did absolutely nothing wrong. Where are they? Yeah. Sometimes it's left completely to the man upstairs.
Except for the recording part of the gun. If your tips are followed, the police violence might decrease. But I'm not sure how many knuckleheads will follow me.
There you go again, still blaming the victim. This is not what we're talking about. You don't understand. We're just giving some options to folks who feel like they don't have any. Black Lives Matter is still one of the greatest options, I can tell you.
One of the greatest options, huh? I won't go that far. Black Lives Matter folks make everything sound racial when it might not be. They make it seem like other lives don't matter, including policemen's lives.
What? Okay, you've been listening to too many white folks.
That has nothing to do with it. I don't have to listen to anybody. I see what's going on.
Then you really don't get it, do you? It's not that other lives don't matter. Their lives have always mattered. Why do you think that how is that ridiculous blue lives matter?
What you mean? Ridiculous? Don't you think cops' lives matter? That they want to go home to their families safely at the end of the day?
That's not what I'm talking about. Of course they do. I mean, when have blue lives not mattered? In fact, all so-called American lives matter if they're white. Any profession, cops, doctors, lawyers, teachers, all of them, even white women, though they holler discrimination whenever they can, their lives matter. Compare the privileged lives to black women and see what you get.
You are exaggerating.
Exaggerating? I borrowed a book from Reverend Miller the summer after my senior year. You know he's always pushing black history. I picked up several, like George Jackson, Soledad Brother, autobiography of Malcolm X, and decided on one I never heard of.
I remember that.
Yeah, I picked Margaret Walker's Jubilee. You ever heard of it?
No, I heard of Malcolm X, but not George Jackson or Margaret Walker.
Okay, well, maybe you can borrow a couple of books from Reverend Miller.
Never said I was an expert in black history.
That's my point. None of us are. But I learned more about slavery from that book than all my years in school. I read the other two later on that same summer. I'm so glad I did. Because you know what has stuck out with me?
Well, I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Yup. And it relates to white privilege and to this police violence. There was this white woman, about as poor as slaves. You know what she told her husband? If it's not word for word, but it's close. She said, I hate niggers worse than I hate poisonous rattlesnakes. We might be poor, but thank God we white. I never forgot that line, Dad. It sums up everything. So the real question is, when have our lives mattered? Never. Never in our history in this country have black lives mattered even a little bit. That's all we're saying is that our lives matter. We're not the niggers or poisonous rattlesnakes they think we are. We are not nobodies.
Nobody ever said we're nobodies. You don't really understand this society.
I don't understand? What I don't understand is why it's so hard for some folks to get it. Why they can't understand what we're saying.
We? Oh, so you're a member of this thing now?
Ain't no membership unless you count that anyone who believes that Our Lives Matters is a member. No registration, no dues, no membership cards. Anybody can be a part. Black, white, Asian, no matter. Everybody knows that historically we've been nobodies in this society. Our lives haven't mattered at all. So anybody that believes in equality and justice for black folks, anybody who is against racism and oppression, who believes that police don't have the right to shoot down black folks, who believes that we are somebody, that anybody who believes those basic things are part of Black Lives Matter.
Hell, I know my life matters, and I believe in all that shit, but I'm definitely not a member of any hell-raising group. Anyway, I'm telling you that marching in the street is not gonna make anybody care about you. That's not what makes your life matter.
Gets up and gets the granola bars from the cabinet and returns to his seat, shoots one of the bars over to Junior.
You think cops only kill black men in these situations? Hell, there are a lot of whites that get shot. In fact, more whites than blacks get shot down. I just saw that statistic on TV the other day.
That, you must have been watching Fox News. Alright? I mean, like, if they didn't give the real analysis, alright? We're only 12% of the population, and black men are about half of that or less. But we're about 25% of all the police shootings. 25%. That means we're about 2.5 times more likely than anybody else to get shot by the cops.
You've been studying this stuff, huh? Well, I still say marching in the streets is passé. Much more can get accomplished if we take advantage of education opportunities and better ourselves for ourselves. That's the only way. That's how I did it.
Have you looked at the unequal education system for black people? You moved way out here because of the so-called good schools where we never learned a single thing about ourselves, about black history.
You talking about stuff you don't know a thing about. I went to school in Ohio, up north. School's supposed to be better up there, and race relations too, right? Well, I didn't know a damn thing about being black. Not a thing except maybe who Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks were. And they definitely want us to know a little about slavery. And oh yeah, learn about Emmett Till too. Guess to scare us into being good niggas. But I learned little else in school about being black. I learned a lot though academically. And what I learned got me a full ride at Georgia Tech. And look at where I am now. Look at where we are. In the middle of 2.2 acres of land. In one of the most expensive and desirable properties in or around Atlanta. We are living large, Q. And it ain't because of black history. I didn't need to know who invented the traffic light or whatever else you all celebrate during Black History Month. I didn't need to know who led whatever slave rebellion, but ask me anything about computers. That was my ticket. The thing is, I'm respected as a successful man, not a successful black man. That's the respect I'm talking about.
Respect. Respect. You don't understand this thing at all. Do you know what they call you? The IBM executive VP and the black president of the United States? Those racists still call both of you nigger.
Hey, myself.
And they hang the president in effigy. Lynch him right on up. That's common knowledge. Trust me, behind your back, Dad, you are just another nigger.
Well, I'll be there, nigga, as long as they don't call me that to my face. I bet President Obama feels the same way.
Oh my God, you and I both know if they see you driving your own BMW at night in Peach Branch outside our development, you'll probably get stopped by the police just like some brother from down in the heart of Atlanta. Outside this development, they don't know you. That's why we march, so our lives can really matter.
Don't march for me. In fact, you are exhausting me. And you about to talk yourself out of going into town. Talking all that, talking the wrong places, and you're gonna end up in big trouble. Maybe even in jail.
Or maybe even death, huh?
Keep talking, Q. I'm not playing here. You can't be going out into the streets acting like you think better than somebody.
Better than somebody? Where did that come from? Not better than, equal to. That's what we want. Them to treat us equally. Don't pull me over just because of the color of my face and the kind of car I'm driving.
You're still young. You can afford to have these so-called revolutionary ideas. One day, you'll be grown for real. You'll have a family, a house, and other material things, and then shit will look a lot different. Trust me, the most important thing to you then will be to provide for your family. I know you don't see it now, but I promise that's what it'll be.
I get it that you want to provide for us, but you don't have to be a sellout to do it.
A sellout? What? You think that's what I am? A damn sellout because I'm trying to give you everything I didn't have? You call providing all this for y'all a sellout? Well, I'll just be damned. You don't seem to have problems asking for shit from this damn sellout who bought you the brand new car your ass wrecked. You wanted it and you got it. From this damn sellout. You were talking all this revolutionary shit then. Nah, you were chinning and grinning for material shit. Material shit bought by this sellout. If all this is so damn bad, son, why don't you reject it? You're damn near grown now. Why don't you take your ungrateful ass and move it right on into the ghetto? You think that's your beloved community? Then go and when you go, leave all this shit this sellout bought for you, including that damn shirt. Can't believe you.
Dad, you're taking this the wrong way. I didn't say you're a sellout. I didn't call you that.
Look, boy, I'm done. Sweep this damn kitchen before your mama comes down, then go and go get your big daddy. At least get your rusty ass off your high horse long enough for that.
Dad,
Don't say another word to me. I told you I'm done.
Dad,
Dad angrily heads towards the door. Quincy stands bewildered. Mom enters as Dad brushes past her.
You better talk to your son, Lily. I'm finished with it.
What in the world is wrong with him? What did you do, Junior?
nothing. I didn't do a thing. Dad just mad at me for nothing.
No, that's not how your dad is. Something happened, and from all appearances, it seems it was a big something.
Okay, he just took something I said the wrong way. His interpretation was all wrong.
What was it, Quincy?
Mom,
What the hell was it, boy?
he thought I was calling him a sellout, and I wasn't.
What did you say to him?
I told him he didn't have to be a sellout to provide for us. I wasn't calling him a sellout, Mom. I was just saying he didn't have to be one.
Oh, there's a difference? Let me tell you, Quincy Lamar Fuqua Jr., your dad has worked harder than anybody I know to get ahead. In fact, no man alive is more focused, more determined, more energized to make a life that is better than the one he came from. He believes the responsibility of every black man is to make things better than the preceding generation had it. And you talking about sellouts.
I didn't mean that in that way.
Do you think because he hasn't talked about things that he hasn't suffered racism and indignities to make all of this happen? He has. He just hasn't bothered you with the crap he's faced. Like when he found a noose on his desk the day he got his promotion to VP.
What? No one ever said anything about that.
Because that's not your daddy's way. To bring all his stuff home. That's not even half of what he's been through to get where he is. So don't go thinking it's been a picnic in the park for him to move through white land. He's gone through some real bullshit all over these years, and you got the nerve to say some shit like that.
But I didn't mean it in that way.
Boy, if it wasn't for him, I'm not sure where I'd be. Your daddy had dreams, and I'm so glad I hooked my star to them. It hasn't been easy for me either. I can't tell you how many times those little white heifers in the DA's office tried to sabotage my work. The male attorneys too. Oh, I could tell you stories. Woo. They don't happen anymore. Why? Because your daddy taught me how to deal with them. Not loudly and brashly. We didn't carry signs. But he taught me how to put them in their places. Even had to go to the EEOC on one of the attorneys and got his little ass fired. Yeah. Yeah. They saw I wasn't their little plaything. So, for you to even remotely insinuate that your dad is selling out to make all of this happen for this family is a slap in the face and a denigration of all in fact, both of us represent. You will apologize.
But how was I supposed to know that? I never heard a word about all of this.
You don't know a damn thing about a damn thing. You're here acting like he's some damn Uncle Tom. He's not! He's a proud black man. Your daddy comes from generations of proud black men. If you want to know some black history, you need to learn the history of your own people, of your grandparents. Then you'll be able to understand that he is not at all ashamed of who he is.
I never called him an Uncle Tom or anything. That's not even what I meant. Listen, I'm sorry I said anything at all. I'll apologize. How can I know if nobody told me?
I'm sure it all got started around this Black Lives Matter crap. I am so tired of this mess. Do you think white folks have to go through anything like this? Talking about their whiteness stresses every single day. No, they do not. Their whiteness just is. It just is. I tell you, Quincy, being black in America is not easy.
But that's pretty much my point. They don't have to go through anything like we have to go through, just to assert ourselves, to make our lives relevant. That's why Black Lives Matter is so important. Don't you get it? Like, after what you and Dad have been through at work, you both should get it.
If it was left up to me, it wouldn't be an issue at all in this house. We know Black Lives Matter. We matter. Every single day we show you that your black life matters. So what if other people don't get it?
Takes a skillet out of the bottom closet and puts it on the stove, then returns to the table and stands over him.
But you need to know that all white people, you need to know not all white people are like that. Look around the neighborhood even. Do you know anyone who hates our living here?
That's not the point. We have money, and Dad is important in his job, and you, a lawyer, are a force. I hear folks are even talking about you running for judge. We're not average black people.
And that's exactly the point your dad continues to make. But your head is too thick to get it. Hell, we worked hard and long to make these achievements. If some folks decide to drop out of school or cut the fool in school or get pregnant and not finish, that's not on us. Every single day. No, they do not. Their whiteness just is. It just is. I tell you, Quincy, being black in America is not easy.
But that's pretty much my point. They don't have to go through anything like we have to go through, just to assert ourselves, to make our lives relevant. That's why Black Lives Matter is so important. Don't you get it? Like, after what you and Dad have been through at work, you both should get it.
If it was left up to me, it wouldn't be an issue at all in this house. We know Black Lives Matter. We matter. Every single day we show you that your black life matters. So what if other people don't get it?
Takes a skillet out of the bottom closet and puts it on the stove, then returns to the table and stands over him.
But you need to know that all white people, you need to know not all white people are like that. Look around the neighborhood even. Do you know anyone who hates our living here?
That's not the point. We have money, and Dad is important in his job, and you, a lawyer, are a force. I hear folks are even talking about you running for judge. We're not average black people.
And that's exactly the point your dad continues to make. But your head is too thick to get it. Hell, we worked hard and long to make these achievements. If some folks decide to drop out of school or cut the fool in school or get pregnant and not finish, that's not on us. We all have to do our part in this white man's land. We all have to fight racism in our own ways. Nobody is giving us a chance or giving us anything. We recognize our responsibility in everything we do. Let me ask you something. Are the people in Black Lives Matter letting folks know they have a lot of responsibility over what happens to them?
We know that.
I don't see that part. I don't see it. I just see them blaming white folks for all the negative things in our community. It's not all on white folks. If Black Lives Matter so much, why we keep killing each other? Are we blaming that on white people too? It's a lot. It's a lot that's got to be considered in this thing, Junior. I mean, just marching in the streets is not going to get it all done.
Takes tallow from over the eggs, a bowl of eggs, and beats them again.
The Black Lives Matter folk know all of this, but we know that the source of all oppression in this country stems from white supremacy. I don't care how hard every single black person works, you think they're gonna let all of us be lawyers and IBM execs?
I don't see how you can say that so emphatically when we are causing so many of our own problems. Anyway, it's past time for the grands to be up here. Go down and wheel your granddaddy on up. And don't bring this stuff up while they're here. I don't want any more conflicts today. Don't even say a word about Black Lives Matter. Not one word.
Act 2, Scene 1. Food is in the kitchen on the kitchen table. Miranda, Quincy, and Dad are in the kitchen. Big Daddy guides Granny to the dining room table. He and Big Mama stand at the table about to go prepare their plates. Mama stands with them and conversation is going on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I just want to apologize about this morning.
Forget you. I can't expect a 20-year-old to understand what a lot of big, rusty grown men don't even understand.
That has nothing to do with it.
This isn't the time, Q. Just drop it and fix your Big Mama's plate.
Walter, you and Bess just sit there on either side of Granny. The kids are fixing your plates. They'll bring them.
Mom leads to the kitchen. Big Daddy and Big Mama look at each other dubiously and shake their heads and otherwise show displeasure. Clearly they are not that excited about eating the prepared meal.
Leah, don't let them fix us too much. We're really not all that hungry. Just a little bit of everything. And me a touch for Granny.
Big Dad, tell us some more stories about working on the railroad.
I ain't never worked on no railroad, boy. I was a Pullman porter. I worked on the trains.
What's the difference? Trains are on the railroad.
Miranda, put that tablet down and take Big Daddy his plate. Nobody needs you to tell us about Pullman porters. I know that's what you checking. I got Granny's.
Miranda brings 2 plates and sets them one in front of Big Daddy.
Thanks, Sheriff. Q, you haven't been listening good.
Miranda sits in her seat with her plate. Dad comes into the dining room with 2 plates, one for Granny. He sits in his seat with the other one.
Pullman porters were like bellhops on the train. They had the easy life, huh, Dad? Can't you wait till your mama gets her plate?
Easy like my foot. Working 18 hours a day, jumping at the window of every white person in the sleeping car, cleaning up after their messes. Doing whatever else they ask on top of sleeping for 2 or 3 hours, sitting up in a train. Not to mention paying for our own uniforms, buying our own food, so yeah, well I guess you could say we had a good life.
Traveling everywhere on a luxury passenger train sure sounded good to me.
Don't know how you didn't know this. That your daddy came home bone tired after every shift.
Mom brings the plate in and sits.
Guess he thought it was from all that traveling in luxury, huh? Sure wasn't no point complaining. It was good work. Kept your mama from working and kept you from having to get a part-time job. Because school is your job.
Grace, y'all. Who's gonna say grace? I'm thinking it needs to be said by the youngest.
Oh, Big Mama. Dear Heavenly Father, bless this food and the hands that made it. Also bless the members of his family and help us to use this food for good. Amen.
That's short and sweet. Good enough. Now we can talk about the earthly things.
She laughs and everyone starts to prepare food. Salt and pepper, syrup on the pancakes, then they eat.
Dad, you always did tell me school is your job, pussy. Getting good grades is your work. Yeah? You said that all the time. But boy, did I wish I could work after school like my buddies.
Oh, so that's why you never let me work in high school. I get it now. But Dad, did you ever have any fun times on the railroad?
On the train, Q, get it right.
Sorry, I meant on the train.
Oh yeah, we had plenty of good times. The Porters were like a fraternity in some ways, like the Masons. Pullman had its own trains that served as a school where we learned how to do the job of a good porter, and not just any old body could be a porter. You had to earn those jobs. So those who made it through was like a brotherhood, and like any other brotherhood, we had our shenanigans.
So what was some of the stuff y'all did, Big Daddy?
Well, I don't remember that stuff.
Just one story, Big Daddy. Just tell us one.
Lord have mercy. Let me see. I remember one. It's that one me and Beth still talk about.
Must be the one about that blue letter.
Yep. Now it wasn't all that funny then, but it sure stretched my service abilities. It must have been around 1965 or so. Now I know that sounds like a long time ago to you kids, but I hadn't been a porter too long, maybe 2 years, when this real pretty young white woman was traveling by herself. Must have got on in Dayton. Anyway, she came up on me with a letter in a blue envelope, smelling like perfume and all, and gave it to me with a quarter. Wanted me to mail it from Columbus by the next morning. Now, we worked mostly for tips, and 25 cents, that wasn't nothing. Plus, we didn't even go through Columbus heading to D.C. I told her I could mail it for her coming back. Ooh, that wouldn't do, she said. It had to come from Columbus, and this letter had to be mailed by the next morning. So I gave it back to her with the quarter, told her I couldn't do it. Well, she came back a little later with the letter and a $20 bill. A whole $20 bill. Told me to please figure out how to get the letter mailed from Columbus. Of course, that $20 got me real interested. I took the letter and set about trying to figure out how to get it to Columbus just like she wanted.
You wouldn't never see her again after that, Big Daddy. So you could have just threw the letter away.
Ah, sugar cube. That wasn't the code of the Pullman Porters. Honesty, efficiency, and courtesy. That's the we were. So I had to make every attempt to get that letter to its destination.
So did you?
Hun, I did everything in my power. The Eastern Capital Limited, which I was on, stopped in Loveland, Ohio, just around dark. We went from there eventually on to D.C., but not through Columbus. It was colder than an iceberg out because it was December. But I figured out how to do it. I could make a connection with one of those local trains, one of those that went the northern route and stopped at almost every town along the way, including Columbus. So just before we got to Loveland, I took off my jacket, my hat, and my tie, so I wouldn't look too much like a porter. Soon as that train stopped, I jumped off and ran like a bat out of hell. It was just getting dark, but I wasn't thinking much about who might see this colored man running down that platform like somebody was chasing him. I was intent on earning that $20. To my luck, about a quarter mile down the track was a local, and if I was even luckier, I would know the conductor. I got there and luck must have been on my side because I didn't know him too good, but we did know each other good enough for me to tell him about the letter. I leaned in his window out of breath and near about freezing and told him about the lady on the train. I gave him the blue letter and a $1 tip to mail a letter from the conductor. He agreed. I told him that it had to be mailed by morning. He promised me it would be. And he was fine with that $1. And of course, I never mentioned my
One lousy $1? Big Daddy, you're a trickster.
Well, they call me Bro Rabbit. My loyalty wasn't to him. My loyalty was to that dude.
So what happened?
Well, I had to hurry back to my train since it wasn't a full stop. It would be leaving in a few minutes. I ran so fast. And I made it into the steps as the conductor was calling, "Oh boy!" That was in case any passengers had gotten off to stretch their legs or something. He sure wasn't saying, "Oh boy," for me. I got my hind parts up on that train just in the nick of time. If I hadn't made it, I could have lost my job. But the victory was mine, because I still had my job, and I had a $19 tip.
I can see you flying down those tracks. I think I would have just told the lady I mailed the letter.
What did happen to that letter?
I took it as far as I could. I suppose it got to its destination on time.
What do you think was so important in that letter anyway?
So me and your grandfather talked about that letter for years. Still wonder sometimes, wondering what if the bird was in it. I figured she was tipping out on a rich old husband, saying she was going to Columbus and needed the postmark for confirmation.
But I thought she might be going to see her poor boyfriend that her rich daddy didn't like. And she wanted daddy to think she was going to Columbus with some friends. Whatever it was, we knew it was a lie, and it included rich folks.
Going around, Lord, taking names, taking names. There's a man going around taking names. Well, he took my husband's name and he left my heart in pain. There's a man going around taking names.
Mama, that's a nice song. But let's wait till you go home so you can sing it. Breakfast time, Mama. Oh, and time for your pills.
Pills? What pills? What I need pills for?
Mama, you ask about these pills every morning. You have to take them.
I don't have to do a thing I don't want to do, and I don't want to take no pill. You take them, you want somebody to take them.
Every day, we go through the same ritual with her taking her pills.
Maybe I can do it, Big Daddy. She listened to me this morning. Granny, will you take your medicine? You know it'll make you feel better.
Oh, little missy, you not gonna fool me with them pills. I'm telling y'all, I ain't taking no pills.
Granny, you almost 98 years old. Those pills probably what's got you going strong.
That's what you say. If you believe that, then you take them so you can get to 98. One for these damn pills, I'd probably be outside jumping rope or roller skating. Where's Buck?
That's your great-granddaughter, Miranda. This here is Lillian. That's Quincy's wife. And you remember my wife best. This is best.
So where Buck?
Buck!
Where Walter and Buck? How come they not here?
Buck was my brother. He died a long time ago. You gotta pardon Mama. Her memory seems to be getting worse. She's been calling for Buck and Daddy for the past few days. Mama, Daddy and Buck, they gone to heaven.
Maybe she's seen them. I mean, sometimes old people have visions about people they have passed on. I read that on Facebook.
Am I going home? Am I going home to see Walter? I've been here long enough. I'm ready to go home now.
Daddy is gone, Mama. Remember, Daddy's gone to heaven. We'll leave to go to our apartment as soon as we finish eating. You gotta eat all your food.
Miranda gasps, and everyone looks at her. She is looking at her tablet.
Oh my goodness.
What, Miranda? What is it?
Never mind. I don't think I should read this.
Girl, if it's not that Black Lives Matter stuff, you can read it.
I don't know, Mama. It's kind of spooky. Okay. It's not usual for the dying to have visions, often of someone who's already passed on.
Okay. Enough. That's enough, Miranda. Granny is not having
There's a
visions.
man going round, taking names. There's a man going round, taking names. He took my Walter's name, and he left my heart in pain. There's a man going round taking names.
Granny was singing that song while I was combing her hair. I looked it up. It was sung by some man named Lead Belly in the 1940s. It was a long time ago. And then by a white man named Johnny Cash in 2002. The article said it was a Judgment Day song. Why is Granny singing something about Judgment Day? Isn't that the day Jesus is supposed to come back and take us all to heaven?
So the Bible teaches.
I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. Matthew 12, verses 36 and 37.
What she mean by that, Big Daddy?
There's a man going round taking names.
Mama,
Taking names.
Mama, Miranda is asking what the song means. Can you tell her?
There's a man going around taking names. Taking names.
She was okay back in Dayton. She came to that Dayton back in 48 when I was just a boy. So that was home, and now she doesn't seem to know where she is. I think she believes she's back in Mississippi.
But why does she keep singing that song? Who's the man taking names?
They sang it at my daddy's funeral. I can remember that old preacher singing that song with no music. Folks joined in and kept beat on the wooden floors. I remember it like it was yesterday. There's a man going round, taking names, taking names. There's a man going round, taking names,
Taking names.
well, he took my daddy's name, and he left my heart in pain. There's a man going round, taking names.
Big Daddy stops and touches her hand.
Some say the man is dead, just going around taking folks when it's their time. Some say it's white folks in the South going around taking the lives of black folks much too soon.
Is she singing about your daddy then? Your daddy?
Malcolm, you need to tell them what she's saying about. It's not quiet anymore. Everything has changed since we got here. Your mama knows it. You don't know, maybe Miranda's right. Maybe she's seeing your daddy. Maybe she's planning her own journey. We don't know. But I can't tell you, Quincy. She's been singing that song all morning and night for a week. Malcolm, you need to tell us. You need to tell us now what she's singing about.
Mama didn't want to talk about it, and she don't want me to. I can't tell what she didn't tell.
She wants you to tell the story. She's doing it in the only way she can. Can't you see that? After all, she's 98, Malcolm.
What story, Mom? Dad, what Mama talking about?
As a man going around, Lord, taking names. There's a man going around taking names. Well, he took my Walter's name and he left my heart in pain. There's a man going round taking names.
Tell us, Daddy.
Have some more of them pancakes. Those are some mighty good pancakes, little mighty good.
Daddy, stop trying to deflect. I know you don't like those pancakes. Stop trying to change the subject.
Don't tell it, Malcolm.
Ain't your place, woman.
You don't have a right to
Do that. If I don't tell it, don't get told. Somebody give it to me, please. Pancakes. Get some.
Mary goes to the kitchen and brings the platter of pancakes Big Daddy takes too. Puts them on his plate, cuts them up, puts syrup on them, and begins to eat. Everybody's quiet while he completes this.
I tell you, these are some of the best pancakes I've ever tasted. You sure put your fingers in these up.
This is a pitiful bake. This can't be Walter's bake. Is this Thanksgiving? But Walter be around here soon, so y'all can slaughter that hog. He picked it out yesterday. Oh, I just hate hog slaughtering time. All that blood, all that squealing. Enough to make you want to puke. But I guess it's worth it. Huh, Buck? Walter gonna slaughter that hog. Salty real good, started in his smokehouse. Walter don't like no turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. So he gonna bring one of them hogs. Already smoked, and that's gonna be Thanksgiving dinner. My Walter make the best smoked ham, hocks, and bacon in all of Mississippi. Don't he, Buck? This ain't Walter's bacon. There's a man going around taking names.
Well, if you're not going to tell it, I'm gonna go back to the apartment.
You think she gonna stop singing even if I tell them? It's not gonna happen that way, Bess. My mama is someplace else now. I don't think she's coming back to us. You might be right, Sugar Cube. She's probably already with Daddy and Mom. Mama, eat the rest of your breakfast. You don't want to waste no food. See, that always quiets her down. Because she never liked wasting food. So she'll stop now so she can eat. Then she should give us a break for a while.
Okay. If no one's going to tell us what you all are talking about, I just assume we finish eating and go back to what we were going to do today. No sense prolonging this.
So that means me getting ready for the march? Okay, I have an idea. Dad, you can drop me off and I can stay in Midtown with Winston. Mama, I know he'd be cool with me staying there.
You must have really lost your mind. I will not be watching that mayhem on TV and you in Midtown. No, sir. This settles it. You will not go to the march.
What march is this?
One of those Black Lives Matter marches.
And why y'all saying he can't go?
Mostly, I guess it's about transportation, but he doesn't need to be out there getting all riled up over nothing.
Why are you calling it nothing? Black lives do matter, and I guess it's up to this generation to make it clear to the world, especially clear to those crackers here.
Daddy, please, don't get him started. But I'm here trying to teach him how responsibility for one's future is the key to success. The only way I could have 4 generations here on this plot of land is to take responsibility for what happens in my future and what happens to all of us. That's important, you know.
Nobody said it wasn't. Of course it's important, but it sure don't take the place of somebodyness. It's important that we realize how much our black lives matter. If we really understood that, nobody could hurt us, and we wouldn't hurt ourselves. If we only understood our somebodyness.
That's exactly what I told Dad just today. Isn't that what I said? Remember, I said, people, Black Lives Matter understands we are somebody. We're on the same page with that, Big Daddy.
Quincy, you don't remember when I took you to see Jesse Jackson when you were just a boy? Must have been around 10 or so. I remember you going around saying that speech over and over. Bad as Granny with her song. I don't guess you remember. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be unskilled, but I am somebody. I am black. I am beautiful. I am proud. I must be respected. I must be protected. But he'd say each line and the crowd would repeat it. You know, like call and response, like in church. Okay. When I say a line, y'all repeat it. Y'all repeat it like they did then.
Do we have to do this? Isn't enough going on around here already?
Yes, we need to say it. Now, if you don't want to say it, Quincy, that's fine. You said it enough when you were a kid. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
I may be poor, but I am somebody.
I may be poor, but I am somebody.
I may be on welfare, but I am somebody.
I may be on welfare, but I am somebody.
I may be unskilled, but I am somebody.
I may be unskilled, but I am somebody.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am proud.
I am proud.
I must be respected.
I must be respected.
I must be protected.
I must be protected.
And then he'd ask, what time is it? And that crowd would go wild. Nation time. And they'd repeat that about 4 or 5 times. Those were some times.
Says here Jesse Jackson didn't make up that poem. Says it was written in the 1950s by someone right here in Atlanta. I Am Somebody is a poem written in the 1950s by Reverend William Holmes Borders, 1905 to 1993, senior pastor at Wheat Street Baptist Church and civil rights activist in Atlanta, where he campaigned for civil rights and distinguished himself as a charismatic spokesperson for the city's poor and dispossessed. In 1971, a bold and unapologetically pro-life Jesse Jackson recited his version of the poem on Sesame Street to emphasize the individuality and significance of all people, regardless of size, appearance, race, or economic status.
Well, I don't know a thing about Reverend Borders, and I didn't see Jesse on no Sesame Street. I saw him in real life with my own eyes. Me and Quincy both. It was wild. And everybody just ate it up, I tell you. We were somebody then, and we are somebody now. Jesse Jackson knew it, and obviously your Reverend Borders did too. I'm just thinking this Black Lives Matter group is coming to do the job that we didn't finish.
There's a man going round, Lord, taking names.
Mama, finish eating your breakfast. Lila's gonna have to throw those good pancakes away if you don't eat them. Yeah, I'm telling you. We did some important work back then.
I don't remember that. I don't remember you doing much with me. Seems you were always working. That's the only thing I remember. You going off to work every day, even weekends. When did you do all this black stuff, Dad?
You must be picking and choosing your memories, boy. I did work a lot, being a porter. I was away from home, and that must have seemed like all the time, but I didn't know any black man that didn't work a lot. Still, we did our share of the movement work. I felt obliged to do it, given what happened. Mama, eat now.
Well, given what happened? What happened? There you go, Dad. What is it?
I'm telling you, Malcolm, I swear I am. This is your last chance. I don't care what you say about my right to tell it. They have the right to know, and they need to know why Granny is still alive.
You never could shut your old mama up. I never could shut your mama up. I can tell you, I wish Mama could tell the story. I was little. I remember most of it, but I don't remember it like she does, or did. Mostly what I remember is what she told me. It was June 1948 in Yalobusha County, Mississippi. Times was so hard for colored people. Yeah, that's what they called us back then. Life wasn't much fit for living, according to what Mama said. They had restrictions everywhere, signs on everything that told us who or what we were. Colored restrooms, colored water, back doors of restaurants, balconies of movies. You name it, and they had some way to put us down. Like we didn't matter. Everywhere we went, we were reminded that we were nobody.
Black Lives Matter, Big Daddy. Black Lives Matter.
Yes, boy. My daddy told us every day the sun rose that we might be colored, but we were somebody. Same thing Jesse said all them years later. Yep. Daddy was one colored man who believed it. He didn't take much off them white folks. Daddy was a farmer, tenant farmer, that smoked the best hams in all Mississippi. Y'all know what a tenant farmer is? You know, Junior?
Yes, sir. Same as a sharecropper?
Almost. Tenant farmer owned his own tools and his work animals, sometimes even owned his own house. But he could never own the land. So cause everything sat on Mr. Charlie's land, Mr. Charlie tried to act like he owned everything, including the people. Almost like slavery.
I didn't know your daddy was a tenant farmer. I thought he owned his own farm.
I guess that's my fault. I just never could talk about those days. It's still hard. But if I don't tell it, Bessie already said she will. And she don't know it all. Oh only what I told her.
Well, I tell what I know.
Woman, you don't even know half the story. Anyway, like I said, Daddy was a farmer on this white man's land. I think his name was Granderson. Yeah, it was Granderson, old man Granderson. He didn't like my daddy. You can guess why. Called him an uppity nigga more than once, and I mean to his face. The last time he called him that, I was with him and my brother Buck. Me, him, and Buck. Buck was 7 years older than me, and so he was pretty grown. I was only 12 years old and kind of small for my age. I was a little younger than you, Miranda. Buck was just so much like my daddy. You thought they were brothers rather than father and son. Well, one morning we went over to Granderson's farm to take him his rent and share of Daddy's cotton. Mr. Granderson was fussing about something. I didn't hear what they were fussing about because I was playing, with Mr. Granderson's collie. The dog's name was Bull, and he was licking my hand. All of a sudden, I saw Mr. Granderson punch my daddy in his face. My heart fell to my stomach because I knew right off that Daddy couldn't hit him back. But he did. My daddy did hit him back. Daddy punched him in the face just like Mr. Granderson had punched him.
You didn't never tell me that your daddy hit Mr. Granderson. Oh, Lord. Now I know the meaning of that song that she sang.
Yep, yeah. I saw him hit him with my own eyes. And that scared me to death. But Daddy and Buck just turned around and walked off like nothing had happened. Both of them. And my hand was in Bull's mouth. He could have bit it off. I barely would have noticed. When they walked past me, Daddy just reached out his hand, grabbed mine, the same hand that had just been in Bull's mouth. It was still wet. But Daddy didn't act like he even noticed. We rode back to our house in Daddy's old truck. Nobody said a word.
There's a man going round, Lord, taking names, taking names.
Yes, Mama, we know. You know the story. I sure wish you could tell it.
What happened, Big Daddy? Did your daddy get in trouble?
When a colored man hit a white man in those days, only trouble could follow. Big trouble. Old man Granderson and some of his folks came to our house that very night. They came that night just to scare us to death, making a whole lot of noise out in the yard, shooting guns, screaming and hollering. Some were on horseback, some in trucks. I was so scared I peed the bed, and remember, I was only 12 years old. Buck slept on a pallet by my bed. It was only a one bedroom, and there was only one bedroom in the house. It was really nothing more than a shack. Mama and Daddy on a bed in the front room. I heard Daddy when he got up, got his shotgun. I was sure somebody was gonna die that night. But nobody did. They burned a cross in our yard, but they left without hurting anybody. I wish I could say the same for the next night.
Somebody died the next night. Who was it?
I can't do it. I can't tell no more. I just can't.
Junior Miranda, get your big daddy some ice water.
Quincy gets up, hurriedly goes to the kitchen and gets some more cold water from the refrigerator and brings it to his grandfather. The room is quiet until he returns.
You want me to tell a story, honey?
Nah, babe. It's my duty. The next night they came back. They came raising all that hell again. This time, they came inside the house. Got my daddy. We all pulled on him and begged them not to take him. But they just cussed, dragged him right on. That was the last time I saw my daddy alive.
Big Mama gets up to comfort her.
There's a man going round, taking names. There's a man, Lord, going round, taking names. They took my Walter's name. Took my Walter's name.
Yes, they did. They took my daddy's name. Mama said me and Buck needed to hide. She thought they'd come back and get us. We left and went to Mama's sister over in Greenwood. Mama wouldn't come. She wanted to be there when Daddy came home. She was sure he was coming back. Of course, we didn't know what had happened to him. For 3 whole days, we didn't know a thing. I think Mama lost about 10 pounds worrying about what they'd done to him. None of us could eat a thing or sleep. Then on that 3rd day, one of the neighbors cut him down. Brought his body to us. Look, at least they took him home to Mama. Said they found him hanging in the woods between our farm and old man Grandison's. They had lynched my daddy. He was a nobody to them. And they just got rid of him like he was nothing and a nobody. Like his life didn't matter one bit. Yeah, there's a man going around taking names, Mama.
Gosh. My granddaddy was lynched. Oh my God. Something you read about in history books. It's not something I've even thought about happening in my own family. I don't even know what to say.
My great-granddaddy's life didn't matter. Not one little bit. Dad, but that's why I gotta march.
No, baby, no. They lynching black men in different ways now. You don't need to be out there. You need to stay right here with your family. I don't know what to say. Malcolm.
So what happened to you and your brother? How come we don't know about him? You said he's dead. Good daddy. Did they kill him?
Yep, he's dead too, Sugar Cube. They didn't kill him. Nah. Buck lived and made it up north to Ohio before Mama and me even got there. Buck died in the war, fighting for the freedoms of other folk. Ain't that a joke? They would have killed him right there in Yalobusha if they had got him. But we had a network, and that was about as much like the Underground Railroad as it could get. On the day Daddy was buried, Grandison and his goons came looking for Buck, but they didn't find him. He was with us all the way. The Undertaker was a good friend of Daddy's, and he was glad to help us out. He picked up Buck from my auntie's house and then hit him. He had a big, pretty horse-drawn hearse that carried Daddy's casket. And under the section where the casket went was a space that was big enough for a man. We guessed he used this space to help a lot of people out, but we didn't ask. It was best not to know too much about the workings of the Underground Railroad. Anyway, that's how they got Buck to the funeral, then out of Yalobusha. We never did find out exactly how it was done, but we never asked nobody. The next thing we knew, Mama was getting a telegram from Uncle Brad in Dayton saying he was sorry he didn't make the funeral. Except we didn't have no Uncle Brad in Dayton. So Mama knew it was Buck, letting us know he was safe.
Wow, Big Daddy. Wow. Sounds like the Underground Railroad, like Harriet Tubman helping the slaves get free. Soon as they crossed the Ohio River and made it to Cincinnati, they were free. I didn't know we had all this in our own family history. Did you, Dad?
I'm sitting here stunned. No, I never heard any of this. None of it. Why? Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Why didn't Granny tell me?
I know, son. I never thought it was fair for you not to know. But your grandmother made me promise it would stop the moment we stepped foot in Dayton. She said we were not to mention anything about this history, not to ourselves or to anybody else. Mama said she didn't want that history to hang around our neck like an ugly weight. She didn't want us bound to it. We never said another word about it. You wanted us to start off free, didn't you, Mama?
I know what happened to Malcolm. You remember what happened to Malcolm?
I know, Mama.
He scoots his chair closer to her and holds her.
But Mama knew the story, Dad. You told Mama. Why'd you tell her?
You think he could carry all that into a marriage without sharing it? No. He couldn't have done that. Whatever weight he was carrying, I was going to carry it with him and vice versa. I never thought he should have kept that from you, or any of his kin for that matter. I always thought it was a story that needed to be told. Now this is the first I'm hearing all of it. Still, it wasn't up to me to tell it. It was up to your daddy and your grandmother. If it had been my family story, it would have been one everybody knew.
That's how I thought about it, but Mama was the one to decide. I just did what she wanted. I think she wants something different now. I think you're right, Bess. She wants us to know the story.
There's a man going around taking names, taking names. There's a man going around taking names. Well, he took my Malcolm's name and he left my heart with pain. There's a man going around taking names. There's a man going around taking names. There's a man going around taking names. Well, he took my Malcolm's name and he left my heart in pain. There's a man going around taking names.
Lights down, end of scene 1, act 2. Lights up, act 2, act 2, scene 2. Breakfast is over, but Big Mama, Big Daddy, and Granny are still sitting at the table. Quincy Jr., Miranda, and Mom are clearing up. Dad walks into the kitchen.
Well, I guess this was really one grand fun party, all right. I don't know if I've ever experienced anything like it. I remember at the orphanage when I was about 10, my caseworker told me that I came there without kin or history. She wasn't being mean. She was just telling me that they were my family, and until I graduated from high school. The Carey Steele Pitt home was the only family I knew. And then I was on my own. Most of the other girls had nowhere to go after they left school. Boys too. I was lucky. I was lucky to get a scholarship to Georgia Tech and then to meet Quincy. Oh, I guess being part of this family is the best thing to ever happen to me.
Dad goes back to the dining room to his wife and holds her. Miranda and Quincy Jr. joins him. Miranda's looking at her tablet.
Yeah. This is your family, baby. Might not be the same thing as knowing your mommy and daddy, but family.
Girl, we all your family. There's not many of us, but we all we got.
You never told us you were from the Carey Steele Pitts home. That's a pretty famous place. The Carey Steele Pitts home. CSPH is an extraordinary place with an extraordinary history. The home's founder, Mrs. Carey Steele, was working as a maid at the Union Railroad station in downtown Atlanta when she discovered that abandoned babies and children were being left at the station. She started to take care of these children, placing them in an empty boxcar during the day and then taking them home with her at night. In 1888, Mama, that wasn't too long after slavery. In 1888, Mrs. Steele chartered the organization, eventually selling her home and generating additional funds from the community to build the first facility called the Carey Steele Orphan Home. Wow, Mom. That was the very first orphanage in Atlanta for black kids. Have you been there since?
No, never went back, not even to see some of the friends I had there. I guess I just tried to put all of that behind me. You might even say that I was ashamed of having grown up in an orphanage. Oh, I've seen one or two in passing, but honey, that's not a time I want to remember or relive. It was great for what it was, but I'm past there now.
Mom, this is your history. That's the place that made you who you are, smart, successful, loving, kind. You can't just ignore that. Miss Carey Steele realized the needs of kids abandoned or orphaned and gave them a life. We have to go back. Maybe we can go back and volunteer or make a donation or both. You gotta do something, Mama. You can't just turn your back on your history. Isn't that what Granny's teaching us?
She cries, and Quincy Sr. and Quincy Jr. wraps her in love.
Out of the mouths of babes, man.
Well, now that everything is on the table, so to speak, I guess I could tell another truth. Lil, these are absolutely the worst damn pancakes I ever had in my life. Tastes like they made out of salt.
Malcolm, then you should be an actor because you had me.
Dad, I told you he wasn't gonna like them. And I hate buckwheat.
Guess it was the only thing I could think of to calm Mama down at the time. But they were bad.
Well, if you weren't in that wheelchair, old man, you'd have a fight on your hands.
I just knew he had to be faking it. I just knew it.
You didn't know any such thing. I saw you looking all sheepish because you were wrong. You actually thought he liked them. But I can tell everybody right now, I'm trying to keep you healthy. Everybody knows what the doctor said. Now, if you want to chance Malcolm having another stroke, I'll just butt out.
No, Lil. No, Dad is gonna do right. And I'm gonna help him. We're gonna make the grocery list together, Dad. No more pork, sugar, salty stuff. We'll be adding plenty of vegetables, and we are going to start exercising.
Now, just wait. I don't know what y'all think happened today. But it sure doesn't mean all these changes have to take place. That's like, girl, say something. We want our bacon in the morning. You sometimes. You can't just take everything a man loves just because he had a stroke.
Nobody's taking Big Mama from you, Big Daddy, and you love her.
Okay, Mom, Dad, I'm thinking that after hearing about our family history, there's no way you can say no to me going to the march.
And me too. Mom, this is important.
Wait, what? I really don't see what that story has to do with any Black Lives Matter march in downtown Atlanta. And little girlie, you better get on in that kitchen and start those dishes.
Miranda, go do the dishes. You're making things hard.
She isn't doing a thing. Nobody said for sure you're going. After all this, after all of this, it's too risky. And Miranda has absolutely nothing to do with that. Both of you just go clean up the kitchen.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Let's discuss the issue like adults. All right. What do you mean our great-grandfather getting lynched has nothing to do with me going to the march? If anything, it's all the reason for me to go.
Then you have missed the whole total point, boy. You might not see the danger, but I do. There is nothing to discuss. You are not going. Can somebody help me deal with this? Tell this boy how dangerous these times are and what can happen in those streets. Somebody needs to talk to him.
I bet Dad sees why I really have to go now. You understand, don't you?
I don't usually disagree with you, Lil, but I have to say I understand it pretty clearly.
Well, you're gonna have to explain it. I'm not ready to endanger my son's life because of something that happened 2 generations ago. I hope that's not where you're going with this. I'm impressed with the history of this family. Impressed with Malcolm's story. I am. But what happened back then hasn't changed a damn thing in this world. Excuse me, Bess, Granny, these crazy men got me cussing. I know you understand where I'm coming from, Bess.
Well, I've been living with this story for as long as you are old. I know how you feel as a mother, but I also know how helpless he's felt because he couldn't do anything to save his dad, even to save us.
Well, he can't do anything to save him now either. Look. I'm in court at least 3 times a week. And it's more black men coming through there than anybody. We're only about 12% of the population, but we're about 90% of the folks who come through the court for the whole of Fulton County. 90%! For all kinds of things. But mostly for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's pretty much the point, Lil. 2 generations ago in our own family, black lives meant absolutely nothing. I mean, they didn't mean a doggone thing. My great-granddaddy murdered by whites for nothing. Buck taking off for the war to be safe from these cluxers, fighting for freedom of folks he don't know a thing about, only to be killed doing it. And couldn't even enjoy the freedoms at home. What is all this for? How much did my folks have to pay so I can have all this? How much did they have to pay? I understand now why you and Mom didn't want me to come back down here. Yes, things have changed. Changed so much since you lived in the South. But who has paid for all these changes? We've paid. With our lives and with our very souls. We've paid, Lily.
And what does that have to do with today?
Oh, come on, Mom. Listen, you're just being blind on purpose because you don't want me to go. I know you want to protect me, but even Stevie Wonder could see the connection.
Lil, I really am sorry about the pancake. And I know you're trying to help us. I'm glad you're doing so much. Now, if you don't mind me butting in, I think Quincy Jr. has to go to the march. He's got to be a part of something bigger than him, bigger than all of us. This is duty. We didn't do a thing back in Mississippi, didn't do nothing to cause the problems, and couldn't do a thing to stop them. Yeah, I tried to get involved with the Black Power movement, but I wasn't really there. Quincy is right. He can't remember what didn't happen.
Dad, that's the past. Let's just move forward.
Yeah, it's the past, but it's important. I went to a few rallies and took you to a couple. You did go to that one with Jesse Jackson. Now back then, I didn't see where marching and protesting and doing all that kind of thing could change things. I was mad. I mean, really pissed. I would rather have been a Black Panther, but I had a wife and a kid to support. I was mad, but I'm ashamed to say I played it safe. So I'm hoping now Junior can be part of this movement that will fight these killings and injustices. We don't need to just tell our boys and girls how to avoid getting killed. We have to teach them how to live and how to be warriors against injustice.
Malcolm, what is this we? What can you do? If you didn't do anything back in the day, it's too late for you now. No, Quincy. No. You need to say something. It seems to me he just wants the young ones to fight the battles. That's the way it's always been. The old men just sit back and let the young ones die in the street. No, not happening in this house. If you think so much about making up for the past, then you take your son and go marching in the street. You two get out there and do it.
Dad, think what I'm thinking?
Boy, you must have been reading my mind, Lil. You are the smartest woman who ever lived.
How sturdy is that wheelchair, old man?
Well, it would be better if it was motorized. But I think it can do the job.
What? Like, hold on. You two want to go to the march?
Not just go to the march. We will be marching, right, Dad? Well, Big Daddy be willing. But we'll be there. That is, if you want to go with us.
Wow, of course. 3 generations of Fuqua men marching for Black Lives Matter. How cool is that?
Not just men, Junior. Miranda will be making this trip. Lil, permits.
No. Now wait a doggone minute. Miranda has no business down there. I do not want my daughter down in that morgue. I don't want her out there in the street. I do not want her out there. No, I refuse. No.
Yes, she does. She'll be marching for all the women who couldn't say a word when their men were snatched from them and strung up or shot down. And for the women too who faced all kinds of harm and death. Oh yeah, she has a place. You gotta let her go, Lil. She'll be marching for Mama and all the women across this country and our history.
No, that's not happening. Say something, Quincy.
I can only say yes, honey. She's gotta go. She'll be in good hands. Oh, keep her close.
Well, if you taking both my babies, Quincy, damn it, I'm going too. I'm not going to let y'all just have my children.
Mom, what? You're going? Oh, okay. Let me go tell Miranda we're going.
I heard her. I heard Mama say she's going.
Girl, please. I haven't changed my mind at all. But you think I can stay here and y'all prancing around downtown Atlanta? Especially you, girl.
Whatever the reason, I am so happy I could scream.
Leah, that's great. I'll be here with Granny. That's perfect. Your whole family in the march. 3 generations of Fuquas marching for justice. The Fuquas will definitely make a statement on this day. I think y'all should make some signs and let the world know. I'll bet this thing is going to be on TV. Oh, me and Granny, we going to sit here and we going to see if we can see the Fuquas.
See, Mom, it's all worked out. I wish you and Granny could go, Big Mama. If anybody needs to go, it is Granny.
You're right. But she's probably so happy now as she's ever been. Signs! We got to get some signs. We need signs. I'll make one that says Fuquas for justice. Okay, Miranda, you can make some too. We've got time, but we still need to, we got to get started. Come on, family.
It's almost 2 o'clock, but I'm so excited myself. I'm ready to go now. Hey, Q, take Daddy up so he can change clothes. Mama, help him put on some loose clothing. Maybe some shorts. It's gonna be hot now. Q, you too. Put on something loose and comfortable. Oh, that shirt you had on earlier. Put it back on. Miranda, Q, can give you the one he has for you. Maybe we can find one for me and Mom. When we get there, wear shorts, everybody. And don't forget your backpacks. Lil, you can keep an eye on Granny until Mama comes back. Miranda, get a snack and some water. Hey, we can make the signs after that. If we get down. If we get there early enough, we can go to Kinko's, Q, and we can copy some more of those cards. We can all pass them out. We'll make this into our granddad.
Goes to Granddad and bends down to hug him. Stands up and speaks to the group. Big Daddy, Big Mama, and Quincy have reached the kitchen.
Yeah. I'm good with protesting against innocent black men getting killed by policemen. I get that. But I'm really marching for Granny.
Yes.
Daddy. Granddaddy and Uncle Buck. Today, the Fuquas are gonna show folks that black lives really do matter.
End of act, end of play.
There's a man gone around taking names. There's a man gone around taking names. He taken my father's name and he left my heart in vain. There's a man gone around taking names.